Cheers! In October, in red and green, just like the colors of autumn leaves. Of course, US presidential and Senate elections, top stocks performers of the week, as well as the optimism on and rallies on the market in the post-elections period. This and a lot more in the new episode of LH Crypto Weekly Analytics. Let's go! Well, starting with cryptocurrencies, of course, our domain. Despite all those forecasts, gloomy forecasts of SOFA Analytics, that it's high time for Bitcoin to correct to 13 and even 12 from its boomy and cheesy growth of the last 2 weeks. It goes up and up steadily and doesn't mean to stop. They say, the same analytics, by the way, that it is the start of the new skyrocket because, well, taking into consideration the potential lockdown in the United States and, well, basically totally closed Europe, there are no better assets unless USD, gold, of course, well, boring, and cryptocurrencies that are the best way to save money or at least speculate. Current price of BTC is 14,500 and, well, like we said, all cryptocurrencies are now growing despite their old coins or young coins or, I don't know, medium age coins and so on and so forth. It seems that a war, at least a civil war after a revolution, begins in the crypto world since suddenly, or at least not suddenly, just within several years, step by step, Tether conquered the first place in the volumes of stock trade in crypto, now summing up and accumulating over 70%, it means more than 2/3 of the whole operations on the market. It is estimated in 56 billion USD a day. It's still not clear for me how do you use a stable coin which never actually proved its stability. But okay. Meanwhile, markets are experiencing, well, so-called salto mortale, as well as the USD, which hectically hesitating between 1.16 and 1.18 to its European brother. The reason is surely the presidential election. First they were sure that Biden will win, then they were sure that Trump will win, and this ping-pong song continued within the last couple of weeks. Suddenly, after a sharp drop forming a double head, which all thought to be the turn to the next downfall of the market, to the second bottom, a fear of us all within these several months, well, it suddenly turned up. For how long? Well, it all depends on the United States. In fact, markets turned the same day when we got, well, more or less reliable polls which clearly stated the victory of Biden. Now, for the moment of recording, it's 264 voices for Biden and only 211 for Trump, and there is seemingly no way for him to approach Biden, even if he wins just in the next couple of states, because Biden is still leading in the other couple. Before, we all waited like for some major event, another meeting of the Federal Reserve. It happens today and they will, well, again decide something. Mr. Powell will again say some unclear words, but who cares at all? But who cares? We all see that nowadays markets are shaped with coronavirus in parity with politics. Who cares of the economy and of whatsoever economic results? Nasdaq is up to almost 11,600, up for almost 1,000. Dow Jones rounding 2,000 up to 28,500, and Standard & Poor's 250 up to about 3,500. I believe that the whole optimism comes from like this, this period of uncertainty is finally over, and they are right. Now the major questions are, will they finally introduce these another 2 trillions of USD to the market, and with the help of Mr. Jerome Powell, surely? Will US lock down the economy after the elections? Will these unpopular measures be the first steps of the new master of the White House? Well, we may already think that there is, a new master of the White House. Just like we advised you in the previous episodes, these are web companies which are the best asset to buy your stocks for the longest future. But surprise, surprise, our analytical department discovered that all these web startups, they work on internet, and internet doesn't appear out of nowhere. It requires, those tiny pieces called chips. And it's not only Intel, the monstrous company which produces microchips, it's also AMD and Nvidia. And these two companies were memorable in the last 2 weeks for major multi-billion USD acquisitions of their competitive companies, which resulted in very positive reports from analytics on their potential performance in the future and potential competitions with Intel. So pay attention to AMD and Nvidia as a very good advice for the long-term investment. As for a traditional economic calendar, frankly speaking, who cares about what happens in the next 2 weeks, except of lockdown, of course, what happens in the scheduled event list in the next 2 weeks, let's say so, when we have such a hot times now. Keep your eye on the oil stocks, which tend to rally up and down. Watch for the production manager index in Germany, in UK, of course in the European Union, totally in China and in US, and surely unemployment change and new job openings in the United States and European Union. This is enough for today, I suppose. Please stay safe, wear masks, and may the profit be with you. Bye.